I expected kind of like a old school, almost like a radio station cabin. I don't know.
Cool.
Like, like you got like a desk with some microphones on it, and and then that's it. It's like that, and then that's pretty much what I expected.
That's cool. Okay.
But yeah, this is cool. You guys got a nice spacious studio. Yeah.
Something I wanted to describe to you that I wanted to save to the end because I was kind of painted a picture for you, right? Or at least I tried to with the things that are in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a huge banner that's behind you.
Okay.
Okay, and it's about 11 foot by 11 foot. It's pretty large. And it has a like geometric pattern in the back that's like circles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it has a large text at the top and large text at the bottom called Respecting Perspectives.
Okay.
And then there is my logo that is in the middle here.
What is your logo?
Yeah, so my logo is a diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And at the bottom there is, it's 3 colors. It's a dark blue, it's a light blue, and it's a what they call hippie green. So it's kind of like a frog green. Okay, like a lighter green, kind of right in the middle, like a Kelly green. Okay, and then there at the very bottom there is, on each corner of the diamond there is a different geometric pattern that is totally different from the other one, and it's a lot of like repetition within small shapes and patterns. Okay, and the logo, those are the 4 corners. Okay, and then in the middle is a teepee that is set up that kind of looks like an A. Okay, for A wall, that's where the A comes from, and there are 2 rivers next to the teepee, one on the left, one on the right. Okay, and the rivers are green and the teepee's light blue, and underneath the teepee there's another smaller diamond.
Mm-hmm.
that has what are roots. So it basically shows the kind of connection with like life on Earth itself, like what Earth is, right? And then you have the teepee, which is like your tribe, your community,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then next to you, you have the water, kind of the waters that flow, okay, up and down here. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like a vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
And then above that is some stars. And
Okay.
coming from the teepee is smoke.
Mm.
A little strand of smoke.
What does that signify?
That signifies the things that we have to do on this earth in order to, make it to the next life. And even like on planet Earth, like to make it to another planet. And at the very top of the logo, there is Saturn, which has a bunch of rings around it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very detailed. The Saturn at the top is very detailed, and the roots at the very bottom are very detailed.
Okay.
And it's yeah, man, gosh, we worked on this thing. I'm so proud of this logo. Yeah, it started out something totally different, but through like persistence and direction, I was able to talk to the graphic designers and say, this is what I want, paint some pictures for them, help them walk them through it. And after like 4 or 5 revisions, we're able to make it. Yeah, man.
Nice.
So thanks for being here, dude.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule and, the time to really just get to know me a little bit and for me to get to know you.
Yeah.
And I met this young man at Inner Fusion Festival
Okay. Are we starting already?
You know what?
Because it kind of sounds like you're starting already. I'm like, hold on a second.
Drum roll.
All right.
So I have what I would consider a creative in all aspects of life, a musician, a coach of many sorts, in the organizational development field. Okay, what that spans, right? And overall, his help and let's see here, position in working with the low vision population, and helping them. So I have Mr. Alex here.
How you doing?
With me. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How about you?
It's good to be here, having some of this delicious coconut water that you got for me. Amazing stuff.
Dude, does wonders.
It's absolutely. And then just kind of ready to have our conversation.
Yeah. Nice. Dude, I want to thank you for being here. I know we had a few talks before this.
Yeah.
And we I really just wanted to get to know you and ask you questions and really get to develop a relationship with you. I'd like to let people know, how I met you, and it was Interfusion.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to tell that story? Or?
Yeah, I think we should start with that, because that's that's a good way to kind of segue into what we have for after that.
Sure.
I met this gentleman at Interfusion, and he really represented something at that time. And I saw Alex walk in the door with his walking stick, and I don't know if we've said this yet. I said you worked with the blind, but Alex is blind. And he walked in with his walking stick, and I immediately, just like wanted to help him at some capacity. And then I realized, like, he was good. Like, he walked in, found where the drum was, and just started playing it. And I immediately went over to speak with him, and he was extremely inspiring, and it was a really cool moment to really just kind of like process what was going on at the time. And you really were a beacon of hope for me at that time.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it was a good meeting. I hope that I wasn't dismissive, or I didn't come off that way. And that I came off as open and wanting to basically say hi, because do people know what Interfusion is? Yeah,
good question. Right? Let's break that down.
Yeah.
So Interfusion, why don't you tell them what it is?
I'll tell them what it is for me. Interfusion for me is, it's a very big community event, and you can go there and do anything within reason. So a lot of people go for the dancing, because there's a lot of dancing. A lot of people go for the meditation, for acro yoga, for working on yourself type of workshops, self-help. And I'll say this: someone described the outfits of a couple, and it was like the man was wearing a belly shirt and shorts, but not shorts.
Dude, free falling.
Yeah, free falling. And then the lady had like sparklies in her hair. I just knocked this over.
No, you're good.
Sparklies in her hair, like beautiful gray hair. So like when I say it's open, it's like anything. You could go there and wear a tail and horns if you want, and then you'll be all right.
Yeah.
So
Love that. Love that. Yeah, I would totally agree. And, you know, we're actually going to have Steph on after you.
Okay.
And we're going to, we'll mention Interfusion there too, because she's also she's a big role in that. But yeah, man, why don't you tell everybody, you know, tell the Respecting Perspectives guests here, give them a little bit about like your childhood, kind of where you grew up, and give a few details, maybe throw a few stories in there, and kind of let people know, you know, who you were as a kid.
Okay, so as a kid, I was a bad boy. I don't mean like Brett the Hitman Hart, like a wrestler bad boy. Like I was like mischievous, a very mischievous kid. I don't know what that was about, but it was. It's like I remember one story when my cousin asked me if I wanted water, and I said yeah, and he went and got a glass, and then thought twice and came back with a plastic cup. So I don't know what he thought I was gonna do with that, but I was a bad kid. I grew up with low vision, so I always had low vision. Okay. And then later on, I lost more vision and I started using the white cane. But initially, it was just a little rebellious, smart-ass, talking child. You know.
Would you wait a second? Would you compare it to like Dennis the Menace?
I don't know if I think I would. Dennis? Yeah, I'm familiar with Dennis the Menace. I think like Dennis. So I'll tell you a story. All right, so I love stories. One day I'm about 3 or 4 years old. I'm living in the Dominican Republic. We live in a very unique place. Dominican Republic was where Christopher Columbus landed first, right? Okay. And the Spaniards built this wall, kind of where I lived. So I grew up. My back wall was this 500-year-old wall that was built, and that's how I grew up. And so I don't know, I'm standing at the park that's also on the same block. It's old. It's got cannons or whatever, and we're looking at. There's something going on. I don't remember what it was. I just remember there was this lady, and she pushes me out of the way to get a better view. So yeah, remember I'm like 3 or 4, so I tap. Excuse me. You know, like. I'm standing there, and she's like, no, you weren't. I'm like, yes, I was. I was standing there. You pushed me out of the way. And then she was like, how dare you? And so, you know, again, talking about what kind of a kid I was like, all right, you wait there. She's like, what are you going to do? I'm going to go get my uncle. Oh, shoot. No, that's where the story goes bad, because Uncle Rook, he just started hitting on her. No. But the point is that I was not a kid that would stay quiet. Yeah. As a child, and then that's still
rebellious kind of against the grain.
Against the grain, not in the box. Yeah. So always kind of been that way.
Gotcha. Yeah. Why don't you? What area did you grow up in?
I grew up as early childhood was in the Dominican Republic, in the capital, in Santo Domingo. And then when I was about 4 years old, because I remember I had issues with my vision always, and then what kept happening was that my mom had to basically find ways to fund trips to the United States so that I could have surgery. And finally one day she was like, okay, I'm just gonna stay. This is too much. And so she switched careers. She went from a career where she wanted to have like a medical lab. Gotcha. And then she started basically all over in the States. And then instead of owning a lab, she was like working at a lab.
Yeah, gotcha. For like a hospital
or like
a school?
Just a private doctor. Doctor, yeah. And so I moved to New York City.
What part of New York?
The city. Okay. Like I'm one of those people. I moved to New York City, and people are like, you ask them like, where from? And they're like, Westchester. And like, you're not from New York. Stop it. But no, the city, like literally Manhattan. Like the first school I went to was in the Bronx. Nice. I remember because at lunchtime, and this is kind of going off a little bit. Sometimes they would just rush us inside, like the cafeteria. Okay. And I never thought anything of it, and then I realized as I got older, there were shootings.
Oh,
they were getting us inside because they were shooting. This was like
emergency kind of routes.
Late 80s, early 90s. So New York City was a little different.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Is that a memory that you kind of have?
Not a bad. The only thing I remember about that is, how it kind of felt to be a non-English speaker with low vision.
Okay.
In the Bronx with a group of kids that may not have been necessarily the group of kids that I would have grown up with. It was just a mix.
Gotcha.
A mix, different colors, different nationalities. I came from a Dominican Republic. Yeah, different colors, but basically everyone's Dominican in
Gotcha.
Dominican Republic.
Good point. Okay, so that's cool. You were able to mingle with different different kinds of people.
Yes.
And I think that's it's great for your own background, because then it just helps you understand different ways of life.
It makes everything not such a big deal.
Yeah.
It's just whatever. Yeah.
Great point.
Mm-hmm.
Great point. Let's see here. Why don't we? You talked about early signs of when you were experiencing low vision. So how old were you when you kind of experienced those?
No, I was born with low vision. So I was born with low vision itself.
Got you.
So all through school, but the thing is, when you're a kid, you don't know what low vision is. You don't have anything to compare it to. So, and I would go I remember being tested for glasses, and somebody, maybe it was my grandma that changed the language around there. She's like, "Oh, do things look bigger with these glasses?" And I thought, "Oh, better vision means bigger." Right? So then do you look bigger? And I was like, yeah, that looks bigger. And then that was how I would judge things. And then one day I remember there was a choice between, when they do that number one, number two, number one, number two.
Yep.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
You're good.
And I remember going, oh, that looks clearer, but smaller. That looks fuzzy, but bigger. Which one is the better one? I don't remember which one I chose.
Okay.
But I remember that thought that I hadn't really understood what clear vision was. And just to add one more thing, I didn't understand what clearer vision was until I was like 14. So I go to the Bronx Zoo, and I don't know if you have ever, those binoculars that you can get at the zoo, okay,
the ones that you put a quarter in, they're stationary.
No, not those.
Oh.
Like ones that you can have, or you can just buy. They're like $17.
Okay,
and then you just take them around the zoo, and what they look like is two lenses.
Okay,
so I'm gonna make the shape.
Yep.
Basically like this, two lenses. There's no tube, like a set of real binoculars.
Okay,
it's just like two lenses. So what you can do is you can look through one lens. You can move that lens, and then you can look through the other lens.
Okay.
And so I saw that if I looked through one of the lenses, I saw really clear.
Oh, wow.
For the first time. And I was like, what is going on?
And what were you looking at? Do you remember what you were looking at?
I was looking at, I think, elk or moose.
Okay.
It was the Africa portion of the zoo. Okay. So it was like looking at the savannah. And I remember being amazed, wait, what's going on? And I think that was the first time that I saw clear things, because before that, it was either bigger or the small glasses, which were clearer but smaller.
So smaller and clearer, or bigger and unclear.
Right. And so I always chose bigger because that's what I thought better vision was.
The reason why you thought that is because you said your aunt, she said bigger instead of better.
Yeah, I think my grandma said, instead of saying, oh, is this better? And I couldn't figure it out. She's like, okay, well, is it bigger? Okay. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's bigger.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
That just shows you how, such a small influence can actually really carry something very, very large.
And is it okay if I give you one more?
Definitely.
Just because, some people might be listening. I don't know. And sometimes you ask kids things and the kids don't know. And I want to highlight this by saying, okay, so I grew up playing the piano.
Nice.
And reading music. And I remember always struggling to read music. And I was like, I don't, and I'm sitting there with my piano teacher, Mr. Fieldman, and he would be like, okay, what's this? And I remember like getting close and looking and reading on, that's a chord. Okay. So that was more than 20 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. Now, maybe when I was, I don't know, 24, 25, I'm sitting there and I'm imagining chords in my mind. And I'm like, okay, I know the shape of that chord. I know the shape of that chord. I know these notes. How come I can't read music?
Huh.
Can you guess why I couldn't read music?
Because it was harder to see the notes?
It was hard to see.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that. And so I grew up thinking I was bad at reading music.
When it was just
I couldn't see it. Yeah.
Man, dude, gosh. So how did that influence your piano playing as you got older?
I just got interested in chords.
Yeah.
And listening, playing by ear. There's a way to read music with Braille. However, from what I hear, it's complicated. And then I'm not such a good Braille reader. Like, I can teach you the code, but in terms of like, am I going to sit there and read a classical piece and perform it? Like, no, man, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Seems extensive. I'm sure there's some people out there who have that.
Absolutely.
Like, if that's their background, but I could see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Braille, when did you get, how old were you when you learned it?
Man, I was about, I think the first time, maybe 24.
Okay.
24. So up to, and then we're gonna I think we're gonna touch on this until I went to this place called Louisiana Center for the Blind. I was almost 30. I kept losing vision and having to restart, like go back and learn how to do things over.
Oh man.
And it kept doing that, and then one day, I'm around blind people for the first time, because I didn't grow up around blind people. I just grew up like a New York City kid.
Yeah.
Doing
New York City badass.
Doing stupid things.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm around this girl, and they all use a cane, right? These blind people, they're all using canes. For the first time, I'm around blind people, and I remember that we were going to a festival, and I knew that I wanted to go, she wanted to go. She was my girlfriend at the time, and she never talked about it like we were going together, right? And that's weird, right? Because if you know I'm going somewhere, and you're going somewhere, at some point you're going to be like, all right, well, either we'll meet up there, or something, right? But it was never that. And so I finally asked her, I was like, I noticed you never talk about, like, you haven't, it was a St. Gennaro's festival, by the way. It's like, how come you never say that we're going together? And she's like, why? I don't want to go with you. And I was like, how come? Well, and my cane is under here. I don't know. The cameras can pick it up, right?
Yeah. Down here at the...
And she was like, well, you don't use a cane. And I'm thinking, bitch, I see better than you. But she was like, no, you don't use a cane. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, you're always like getting lost, and we always have to find you. Now, one misconception that people have is like that blind people, because the way blind people walk with a cane, we bump things with the cane. And the impression that the public gets is that, they're lost and they're bumbling around.
Yeah.
What's actually happening is we're just making contact with objects to either get a mental map or get direction, or just know what that is. Or how else would you know that there's a trash can in front of you if your cane doesn't hit it?
Yeah.
So you're not going to avoid the trash can. I mean, if I know it's there, I'll avoid it. But if I don't know it's there and I feel like there's an object there, I'm going to hit it because I want to know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I didn't use a cane. I was always getting lost. And then finally I said, okay, I need to take on this blindness blindness thing. And then you know, it was a hard thing to do, and it starts with a white cane. And for some people it doesn't. You asked about Braille. You know, do a little Braille, just enough to and I'm telling this story out of order. The Braille happened first.
Gotcha.
Where I kind of learned it, forgot about it, met these blind people, pretended that I could see, pretended that I, you know, whatever, because I could see better than them, and then ends up they're leaving me behind because I'm not using a cane, and I'm not using Braille, and I'm not using these things. And so it's sad, but it's a kick in the ass, and sometimes people just need that.
Yeah, sometimes you need, you're right.
Get over yourself, you know?
Like, you got to get over that hump every now and then, right? And then, you know, you don't know what's on the other side.
Exactly.
Why don't you, talk a little bit about the Louisiana Center. Talk a little bit about the Louisiana Center for the Blind, if you could.
Sure. Okay. So this one, I'll give them a plug. I love giving them plugs.
Nice. Well, let's give them a shout. Hey, shout out right now to the Louisiana Center for the Blind.
Yeah.
Alex has talked a lot about y'all, and you should be proud of yourselves.
Yes. Yeah. So what this place is like the premier. I would say that, and I'm not just being biased because I went there. Like the premier training for blind people is actually a center in downtown Ruston, Louisiana, which is a tiny town. Ruston, Louisiana. It's where Louisiana Tech University is.
Okay.
It's a tiny town. There's a railroad track that is like maybe 30 feet away from the center.
Oh, we're talking a full railroad.
Yeah, like a railroad. Yeah, like you're walking down the street and the buildings shake.
Yeah. You
feel it. And as it passes by, you're like, holy crap. And so that place is there, and it trains blind people. What it does is it has everybody, because the other thing is that if you're blind, only about 10% of blind people actually have no vision. Mostly everybody else has some color vision, something, whether it's light perception or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, I work with people that have low vision and blindness. I've had clients that literally walk out their car with a cane, with a white cane, like the one I have.
Okay.
And the reason they do that is because while maybe in some parts of the day their vision doesn't work, they can still drive for whatever reason. Either the lighting is different.
That's a good.
You know what I mean? There's not so much glare. And so, but when they get out, they're like, oh, well, I need my cane. I got to bring it in. You know, it looks weird, but that's the reality is, you know, a lot of times people have you don't know what kind of disabilities people have.
Good point.
Some of them are masked. Some of them are not. Some of them are just not visible.
Yeah.
And some of them are not visible until they get out of the car. So, you know.
Different circumstances. Different settings that you're in.
Different settings. But yeah, but the Louisiana Center, what it does is it tries to, teaches people under sleep shades. So like you take a blindfold, basically, you put it on, whether you can see or you can't.
Okay.
And you learn to do everything you need to do as a blind person for the rest of your life, as if you had no vision. The goal is, let's say you do have vision.
Okay.
Okay, well, now it doesn't matter. Because you can do it as like completely blind, you could do it with some vision. Let's say your vision changes. You could do it completely blind, you have some vision. You know, let's say
good point.
You go camping. There's no fire. Well, now you're the one that's going to help out because you're the one that can do things without having to rely on vision. So that's what they do. That's what they do. And then that training center, and we can talk a little more if you want, because I have some stories about that. Yeah. That training center led me to move to Nebraska after I finished it, because I was dating someone, and they got a job in Nebraska, and so I went there, and then I started working for one of their centers in Nebraska that kind of did something similar, but it was a state-run center.
Okay.
And then that job led to me moving to DC, doing some policy work in DC, and then once that finished, going into a blindness agency in Virginia, where I work now.
In Virginia itself.
In Virginia
and
itself.
What's the name of the agency?
It's called the Virginia Department for the Blind and Vision Impaired.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And how long have you been with them?
Man, I've been with them for 9 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Let's see here. There was something that I wanted to... What was the most valuable thing that you learned at the Louisiana School for the Blind?
Ooh. Man, I did not expect that question.
Yeah, I did. Listen, we went over a lot, but I told you there was going to be a few.
The thing I learned was that I needed to have... what's the word I want to look for?
Take your time.
I needed to have more direction to be a self-starter. So one of the before I decided to go to that training center, I had checked out other training centers. And one of the reasons I wanted to go to that one is because as a city kid, I never learned how to do things with my hands.
Right.
You know? Yeah, sure.
Because there was a guy for that. There's always a guy for that.
Yeah, there's a guy for that. There's a guy for that. Ooh, call the guy. Call the super. Call whoever. So, yeah, I could play Street Fighter and Super, and Mario Brothers. But, and then I would hear these, women from down south talking about, what'd you do today? Oh, I just paved my driveway. And I'm like... What'd you do today? And I'm like,
the way you said that, dude.
I'm just sitting here. But so I didn't know how to do those things. And one of the things that you had to do at the training center is they had a wood shop. And the point of it wasn't to train you vocationally for that wood shop. You're not going to come out and be a carpenter. I mean, some people I'm sure wanted to.
Yeah, right.
But the point of it was, because they push you to the limit. The point is, if you could handle a bandsaw as a blind person safely and independently, then you will understand that a lot of the issues you face are really just society or a lack of resources. It's not because you're blind.
That's a great... Dude, that's
right?
Awesome. Connection.
And I got all my fingers.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly.
So I did it.
Yeah.
But one of the projects that they had was they would make, like, some people would make a grandfather clock.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't mean like a crappy grandfather clock. I mean like German parts inside the clock. Like they would... No, I'm a kid from New York. I don't know how to do these things.
Right.
I get there. I get to that class. You don't start out making a clock. You start out doing these stupid blocks.
What you call rudimentary.
Yeah, rudimentary.
Right.
Oh, is that what it is? Rudimentary. Yeah, okay, not stupid blocks.
The nice way.
The nice way.
I'm not sure.
And, after you do those blocks, then you put holes in them, and then you put pegs in them, and then you make this little braille design thing. And you're like, after a few of those, then you move on to the other things. And after that, you move on to using all of the equipment. And so I'm like, again, I'm a city kid. I'm there in class. It's like 8 a.m. I'm
oh yeah,
falling asleep
for sure.
And I have a pair of sleep shades on, so it's not like,
oh shoot,
right. So I have that on, falling asleep. People.
Oh, that probably had you. You could probably fall asleep a little bit more than most.
Yeah, and so, and finally I get to the point where I start building my clock, and I remember cutting out the pieces and all this stuff, and then we had to stop because they did trips. They also did like water rafting, and all these trips to kind of again make you understand that it's not about being blind, it's about like being proficient and efficient at things,
right? Putting limitations on yourself.
Don't do that, right? So, and I'm there, and I know in the back of my head, like in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna have time to finish this project.
Oh shoot.
But I'm trying, and I'm there, and I show up, and I'm there, and I'm not falling asleep anymore.
Okay.
I'm there, and I'm cutting the wood, and I'm shaping the wood, and I'm like, and this instructor called Mr. James, I'm gonna do the voice because I feel like
yeah, please do. Can you transform into Mr. James for me real quick?
Mr. James was a very wealthy, independently wealthy, former contractor builder who lived there, who lost his vision, and when he lost his vision, he went to that training center, and then when he went there, he decided that he could do more, and he started working there.
Oh, he started working there.
He started working there. So Mr. James, he was like he's the guy that doesn't mess around, right? He's the guy that you show up and he's like, well, it looks like you're late.
Right, there you go. Okay.
And Mr. James pulls me aside. He says, come here, I want to talk to you a second. Like, all right, what's up? And he's like, well, I didn't say what's up. I was more respectful than that.
Of course.
I was like, yeah. He was like, well, I've been doing some math. It looks like it's going to take you. How many days do you think it's going to take you to do this? So I'm like, trying it out. I'm like, well,
right.
And I have my schedule out. I'm like, well, it's 5 days for this, for this. And he's like, I'll be honest with you. I don't think you're going to finish this project.
Oh, shoot. And that's what you were thinking, too.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I knew.
Yeah.
In my heart, that's what I knew. But I didn't want to face that.
Okay.
And the reality was that I didn't take it seriously enough to finish it.
Okay. Well, you know what? The fact that you owned up to it and got that, you understood that. So that's important.
I went to the bathroom and I broke down and started crying.
Oh, man.
Because it was something more than just a clock. It was something else. And at some point I went back and I told you I worked in Nebraska in their training center, and I had an opportunity to build stuff there, and I built myself a cabinet, which I still have in my apartment.
There you go.
But yeah, that's
dude.
That's my hardest lesson. It's like if you don't have there's nobody to blame but yourself.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Man, that's and I think it's ironic too that it was a clock.
It was a clock.
Yeah.
Running out of time. Look at that.
Yeah. That
and time.
Yeah, but gosh, I'm sure it sounds like you learned a lot from that place, and it's great to see that places like that exist.
Absolutely.
And that they're out there for you, and
by the way, before I'm interrupting, but
no, not at all.
Maryland, because we're in Maryland right now. I don't know. Let people know where you are.
Yeah, hey, we're in Baltimore, Maryland, just so you know, hon.
Yes. And you guys have a great training center here too.
Oh, cool.
For blind people. It's called Vism.
How do you spell that?
VISM, I think. Vision.
Okay.
Something. I don't know what it is, but you're here. You guys are here. You have one of those here. You have one in Virginia. That's called VRCBVI. Just look for blindness training centers if should anyone ever need that stuff.
Nice.
But you do have one that's local.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Good to know. That's great to allow people to tap into the resources that are out there. I think that's really important.
Yes.
So I'm glad you shed some light on that. Tell me a little bit about a part of your profession where you started working with individuals and then you went to organizations. Give me a little bit about your professional background.
So I work with individuals. Basically, I'll give you what it looks like, right? On a day-to-day, right? So I might get a referral for someone. I get a report, a medical report. It says this person has glaucoma, or they lost their vision, diabetic retinopathy, whatever. So I look at
what was the last word you just said there?
Diabetic retinopathy.
Oh wow!
So that's when you're diabetic, and then your retina starts basically getting damaged because of your diabetes.
Oh wow! Didn't know that existed.
Listen, diabetes is a mofo. You got to be careful with that stuff, because blindness, deafness, all that stuff you could live with, but diabetes eats you up inside.
Wow.
So you got diabetes and you don't take care of it, you can lose your vision, you can lose your toe, you can lose a bunch of other things. So
wow. Gotcha.
But yeah. Okay, I lost my place because I needed I always try to mention that to people. Like,
very, very important. I think let's make sure that we shine some light on the fact that you want to take care of yourself, take care of your body, and go to the doctors regularly and get yourself checked out.
Eat healthy.
Eat healthy.
We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
In the ride here.
For sure.
Eat healthy. Yeah. So it all ties in. Health,
it does.
It all ties in. Yeah.
And I think the point that we were making though was how your professional career working with individuals.
That's right. It wasn't diabetes, but glad we went there.
We did.
So,
me too.
So I'm working with individuals, and basically, see someone, I have a little bit of an interview conversation on the phone.
Okay.
Then I do an assessment or two. And the assessment is not necessarily, because when you do this for a while, you kind of have a feeling of what people need and where things are going.
Okay.
But the assessment is to gather data, so that if I'm showing you something, I'm not showing you something that you don't care about. I'm showing you something that you've identified that you need help with. You got kids, and you need to find a job, and you need to learn how to, what do you do with your wardrobe now? How do you match colors? You used to be a lawyer, and you got a bunch of ties, and now your ties don't match any of your suits. You don't know what matches what.
Right.
Well, there's a little bit of strategy for that. So I'm not there to give you a strategy. I'm there to help you figure out a strategy.
Gotcha.
So you take that, and now you say, rather I say, I don't want to just affect one level, working with people on one level. How can I affect people on more than one level? So if I move
like level of like a building, like who's on that level?
Yeah, like who's on the level. So imagine different people. So I'm like, okay, well, I think if I work with organizations, I can affect people at different levels. I can affect management.
You're right.
I could affect people's interpersonal and intrapersonal relationships.
That's a level.
I could go above. Let's say the organization is working now with the government or something. Now I'm affecting that federal level. That going. Just expand as far as you can. And so I'm like, okay, I think I want to work with systems, and do the same thing with systems, not just with individuals.
Okay.
And so I shifted like more than 2 years ago, 2023. I started that program.
Nice.
And
what was the program itself?
It's called Organizational Development.
Okay.
And Knowledge Management. So it's ODKM at George Mason University.
Oh, cool. George Mason. All right. Shout out to the GMs out there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Talk a little bit about the National Federation.
Okay.
For the blind.
For the blind.
Yeah.
Okay.
What type of information do you? I know because that when we had a bunch of conversations before this, and that did come up a lot, and I think we should highlight. So
that is it's called a consumer organization. It's a nonprofit that basically does everything from advocate for people's rights with low vision and blindness.
Okay.
So let's say a blind mom has a baby, a nurse comes into the room, says, "You're a blind mother, you can't take care of your baby," and now the baby gets taken away.
Oh no.
Okay, so now who do you go to? In a case like that, you can go to a lawyer, or you can also go to one of these organizations.
Okay.
And there's two in the country: American Council for the Blind, and National Federation for the Blind.
Okay.
And they help. That's what they do. That's what they're there to do. Maybe put you in touch with lawyers, or maybe it's just try to help your blind kid get Braille resources in the classroom.
Okay.
Or maybe it's teaching STEM. And science and to blind teenagers so that they can, when they go into the job market, they have some type of STEM background, or they get inspired. And they work background.
Okay.
So that organization does those things. And how I came into contact with them was through a karate class.
What?
Yeah. So there was a book by one of the disciples of the gentleman who came up with Kyokushin karate. Kyokushin karate.
Yeah, what is that?
It's kind of like a really hard style where they do everything except punch you in the face.
All right, everything but face
punch you in the face. Yeah. So,
all right.
Okay, so
I could maybe hang with that.
So the student of that gentleman got sent to the United States to push forward that style of karate. There's, I think, in the 60s or 70s, and he got here and he says, "Man, Americans don't want to get punched in the face. So what if we restructure and make a sort of a safer version of this, where you still, have hard punches and hard kicks and still a brutal style, but now you're kind of
style.
Now you're focusing. Maybe you don't fight people as a white belt. Maybe you wait till you're like a green belt or something to fight.
Gotcha.
And so, but then he, somebody in that organization thought, like, what else can we do? And they started teaching blind people in New York karate, their karate style.
Okay.
And I read this book and I read that, and because I didn't want anything to do with blindness at that point in my life, I just put it aside and I was like, whatever. Right. The book is interesting, but this blindness stuff, whatever. Kind of gave me the shivers.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But then one day I was like, man, I really want to do karate. And so I did, and I did. I found that organization, found the karate school, started taking classes, and one of the people there told me that there's nothing more beautiful. There's a sound more beautiful than a bunch of blind people with canes, and the canes hitting the floor. He said it sounds like raindrops.
Oh shoot!
All those blind people,
damn,
at those national conventions that we had talked about, because those organizations have national conventions, and I was like, oh, wow, maybe I should join one of these organizations. But it wasn't the raindrops that made me join.
No.
It wasn't. It was seeing two hot girls that were blind. And I was like,
you were like,
remember when I said earlier, it's like, bitch, you blind.
You blind.
Okay. She wasn't a bitch. She's a really nice girl.
No, of course.
But she was that girl. She was.
Yeah.
I saw her and I saw her friend, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm going there.
Yeah, right. That away.
Okay. And how?
So there were many reasons. Let's just say there were many reasons why you were involved in this.
Yes.
What's the name of the convention that you?
Oh, it's just called National Federation of the Blind National Convention.
Okay, National Convention. When is the next one?
The next one is in July, and it's in New Orleans.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, dude. You need to do a double up. You need to hit that up and then go see the homies down at the
right in New Orleans,
at the school.
Yeah, in the school,
man, dude, you'd be running.
Yeah. And so, but it'll be fun. Luckily, I have a job because I work with blind people. So, well, they don't pay me to go there. They do pay me while I'm there, and it's kind of, for me, like every year, it's kind of like a refreshing, very refreshing to see blind people, because the way that I see blind people now, not internally, but like, I'm working with folks that are just starting out. Okay. Folks that are in a state of emergency, really. They want these services. They either lost vision, or they lost their job, or whatever. But when I go to these conventions, I'm also meeting those people, but I'm also meeting mothers and fathers and grandparents and people that work for the federal government. Well, maybe not right now. I'm meeting everyone, scientists. Of course. I'm meeting everybody, people who are doing not good and people who are doing great, and so that it's a reset for me. Nice. And it inspires me to go out into the community and continue working.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome to hear, man. Hey, there's something that I really want to get into. All right. I know when I first started talking to you, you gave me some like details of just like throughout your life itself. Yes. And I would love to kind of just like step in your shoes for one day. Like, let's just say like we're getting up, we're going to, your daily routine. And then, let's say we're taking like the bus, to like a restaurant. Okay. And then, let's add something fun, after the restaurant that you can think of. But like, how would you go by your day?
Okay. So the first thing, when you mentioned the bus, what came up to me is something that one of the instructors at that Louisiana Center told me. Because I told him, hey man, I'm from New York City. I take the subway. I know how to take the subway. I don't know how to take the bus. He goes, what's so hard about taking a bus? I'm like, well, you step on, you step off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Right.
That's okay.
Easy as that.
Easy as that. I mean, there are some techniques, like what I would do today might have been different than what I did when I was first learning these things, just because of apps and things like that. So what I would do is I would probably want to know the route of the bus. So I'd probably go on Google Maps and just make sure that I'm taking the right bus, what bus, how many stops. Because, when you take public transportation, I don't know how many of you guys do, but sometimes those announcements don't work. And I can't read the announcements, and so I have to, either track on my own, or one other thing is like ask the bus driver, hey, can you tell me when I get to such and such?
Okay.
And they'll do that. So I would do that. That's how I would get on the bus and get off the bus. To find a restaurant, I would like to know where the bus leaves me. So for example,
lets you off.
Lets me off, but like, am I on the block that has the even numbers or the odd numbers?
Right.
Because I need to find the place. The other thing I would need to do is take a look at the address. So like, if I think of an address, 400 South something Street, I know that it's on the 400 block of something Street. That's how firemen get to your locations. That's how they look at the
really?
Grid. That's what they do.
Oh wow.
Like, if I say 325, it means it's on the 300th block.
Yep.
And then 25, you count up the addresses.
Yep, of course.
And that's how they do it. So blind folks who have that training, that's how we get around. All right. So now I get off the bus. I found my place. Walking into the restaurant. So I got to mention this. Had this been 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and people were still using a lot of change and dollar bills, now everybody uses their iPhone or they use some other type of payment.
Right.
Like, not a lot of places do cash. But one of the things I used to do is listen for that cash register.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Because that's going to tell me, maybe if it's a fast food place, like where do I go up? Where do I queue up?
Yep.
For the line. Now I'm listening for beeps and other cues. So that, let's say it's a restaurant.
Okay.
I might, if it's a tight, the place is really tight. I might take.
You mean tight, like nice, like it's good?
No, I mean tight, like literally, like remember New York City kid, right? So like tight, like there's 38 tables in a 4-foot space.
You're banging in this.
And banging
like
in
bull in a china shop.
So there I might be like, okay, can I take your elbow? Is that okay if I take your arm or take your elbow? And sometimes I'll just lead. I just do that on my own. The other thing is like the bathroom. So the bathroom is interesting because the first thing is I sit down, I start listening. Where do I hear a door close? Because that's probably where the bathroom is. Okay. Or where do I hear the kitchen? Because the bathroom is probably near the water pipes. Okay,
good thought. Right.
And
geolocate.
Yeah, so a lot of places like that. But basically, I think the day revolves around knowing when I can use assistance, and knowing, and for the most part, just being able to maneuver myself in my environment. And it does take, and as I'll disclose something, most blind people or people with disabilities do not want to think of their existence as more difficult.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't want to think that it's going to be harder for me to do something that's going to be harder for you.
Yeah.
But the reality is, yes, I'm gonna have to put more effort into doing something.
Of course.
Some people look at that like, oh, you're so inspiring.
Yeah.
So hard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then at the end, and I also think like, You know what that also means? Your ass is lazy.
Oh, shoot. Right.
Because
how much more effort
more effort
right? And
am I doing, to do these things, and where are you? How are you doing? So, and I only take that stance because some people do look down, and when somebody does look down, I'm kind of like, okay, but
let me ask you this: this is a side note here.
Yeah.
What's like one or two of the misconceptions that people have of blind people?
That saying, one of them is like the blind leading the blind.
Right.
Well, if the blind don't lead the blind, who's going to lead the blind? Sighted people are not going to lead the blind. The sighted person might help me.
Mic drop. Just drop the mic right now, dude.
Might help me get to I don't know, might point something out, but they're not going to lead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not leadership.
Got you.
That's one misconception. The other misconception is that you're always in a constant need of needing assistance.
Right. Yeah, you just mentioned that a second ago, right?
And because there's a lot of times that I'm just like, I remember one time I was like standing in DC Northwest, just standing on Connecticut Avenue. For whatever reason, I think I was waiting for an Uber, so I'm just like standing, like head down, listening to my iPhone.
Okay.
Like, literally, like not. I don't think, and maybe they thought I was, but I don't think I was looking like I needed help. I was just kind of close-ish to the corner.
Yeah.
And just minding my own business. Someone was like, "Sir, may I help you across the street?" And I'm like, "Oh, thank you." But no. And then, someone else, like a second later, would like maybe grab my arm and try to pull me across the street.
Gosh,
and it's like,
got you.
Please ask. That's a misconception. You don't know where I want to go. You don't know that I need the help. You just ask.
So even if you think you're being helpful, you might not be. First, at least, just ask.
Just ask. Yeah. I mean, and at the same, saying that with the understanding that not all low vision or blind people with disabilities have the same level of independence or want the same level of independence. And so I don't want to push people away from asking. But the important part is ask. Like, ask. Because, the way that we work is we see somebody and we think we put ourselves in their position, in their place. I was like, well, yeah, if I couldn't see, I would want help crossing the street. But you probably wouldn't want somebody dragging you across the street if you couldn't see.
For sure.
Right. But yeah, an ask is always good. An ask is always welcome.
You know what? Let's get. Let's see here. I want to ask you, what does beauty mean to you?
I think that depends on what we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
But
like just by the broad sense, like what does it make you think of, kind of?
Think of the most perfect thing you can imagine.
Okay.
The most perfect colors, the most perfect texture. Perfection. Think of that.
I'm manifesting it in my mind right now.
Now, you carry that and you hit a wall and there's a little chip that comes off. That's beauty. Not that the chip came off, but that little imperfection within the perfect.
Oh, man. Darn, dude. That's deep right there. Good shit. What about this is something I asked, one or two of my friends if they had any questions for you.
Oh yeah.
And
sure.
This was from Alex here.
Okay.
He wanted to know, what other senses do you feel either like heightened or lowered? Do you think that you have to use You know, since you are blind, do any of your other senses have to go into overdrive or underdrive?
So I have a few answers.
Yeah.
One of them is that it's a misconception that you have heightened senses when you lose one sense.
Yeah.
Sorry, hit the mic again.
Yeah, you're good.
What happens is, let's say you learn to drive a car defensively, right? Like, you know, the police training where they're running, you know. And I don't. I just drive a car. You don't have a superpower because you drive you learned that. What it is that you have a skill. And let's say you are a cop and you do that every day. And I'm just a regular citizen and I do it once in my life. Your skill at doing that is going to be a lot greater than mine. So that's the same thing that happens with the disability. It's like one sense doesn't enhance,
of course,
but you use it more, and so you become more familiar with it, and that sense is now looks like to the other people like you have a superpower, but it's not a superpower, because my hearing,
it's not a good way to describe it.
No, like my hearing is the same as your hearing.
Of course,
it's just that you don't have to hear for traffic when you're walking halfway down a block.
It's like, when are you listening?
Right.
Not like how are you listening.
Not necessarily exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And you know what? This is a perfect time to segue, I think. Well, actually, you were describing that, though. I think there was a few more. You said there was a few more things that you wanted to tie into.
Yeah. So, I forgot Alex's question, because the first one was
the question that he has was as far as your senses.
Okay.
Yeah. Are any of them heightened? But I think there was. Was there anything else that you wanted to add to that?
Yeah. Yes. So the other part of that is, and again, I have to point it out. Hit the mic. Keep hitting the mic.
It's okay.
Some senses do get overwhelmed. So, for example, I know plenty of people, blind people, who in crowded places, crowded areas, can get over. Like yesterday, I was. You saw where I live. I live right across the street from the baseball field. And it was really crowded. Now, usually that block is really, there's not that many people. So I get out of my Uber, and I'm used to listening to where the entrance is. It sounds a little bit different if I'm walking toward the entrance of my building. There's a carpet on the floor. There's like glass doors. So it sounds, and then there's like a space. There's like planters around it.
Okay.
So it sounds different than if I'm just walking along the wall. But I couldn't hear that. So it took me like 30 seconds more to find the door to the building. And so those senses, like my hearing at that point was a little overwhelmed because I'm listening to everybody walking around. There's a bunch of traffic.
Oh yeah, thinking about all the other things that are going on around you as well.
Yeah.
And toning some of those out.
Yes.
Oh,
tuning some of those out. Yeah.
That, actually.
So like the worst thing, if I go into the metro and there's a guy playing the sax, like that sounds great, but it's preventing me to hear where the tracks are, where the people are standing.
There's levels to this.
There's levels to this, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then tying that to where I said, it is a little harder. It is to sort of live with a disability. It is, because as a sighted person or as a person who's able-bodied, you don't think, oh, that guy. I mean, it might annoy you.
Yeah. But
you don't think, oh, man, I could fall into the tracks because that dude is playing a beautiful song. Yeah.
Sometimes the beauty. Yeah. There's beauty in the madness, right?
And sometimes you got to just stop and listen to the song.
Stop and listen to the song. Right? Yeah, maybe that gives you the opportunity to take some patience.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know what? Speaking of patience, there's a small segment here that I want to kind of transfer into real quick. Let's see here. I got a few questions for you. Okay, this is kind of a rapid fire. All right. We're gonna
let's do it.
Put a bunch of seconds on the clock here.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready? Name a song that always gets you pumped up.
Ooh. It's a song that always gets me. I don't have a song necessarily that gets me pumped up. It gets me. There's a song from back in the day from the Mortal Kombat soundtrack, the first one. Not that one.
No.
But that one does get me pumped up. But it's not that one. It's one by, I think, Orbital.
Okay.
And it's called, I think, Halcyon On and On.
Sing it. Let me sing.
If I sing it, it's stupid. It's just like a reverb, reversed voice going do do da da da, and then a bass line, and then dong 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 dong, and it goes on for like 11 minutes.
Okay.
But I just
that's it.
Think
that's
that song
the pumped
is beautiful.
up song.
Yeah. That.
Okay. Next question. All right, we're going rapid fire with these. Okay, rapid fire. Talk about a time you helped someone in need.
Oh, I think
it's a small act that you've done recently.
Shit.
Come on.
I thought I was going to do this rapid fire. Someone in need.
Come on. When's the last time you helped somebody?
I think every day. That's the problem.
Oh, shoot.
I think, I'm like, okay. Help someone. You
can pass. Pass.
Open the door. Open the door for someone. Yeah.
Okay, come on.
In.
I
open the door for them.
Dude.
Yeah, open it.
All right. If you could have any question answered, what would it be? Any question?
What is this?
What is all this? What is life?
What is all this?
Oh my God!
I don't even know if it's life. Just if it's life, rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Right. What is life?
What is all this?
Okay. Yeah. If you could combine two animals, which would they be?
Oh. A cow.
Mm-hmm.
And an elephant. An elephant.
A elephant.
A elephant.
Nice. Love it.
Big ass ribeye.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's dinner for days. Have you ever eaten something weird just to see how it tastes?
Yes.
Okay, right? It doesn't even ask you what it was.
Yeah.
So let's not even.
Yep.
All right. Would you ever want a job testing flavors of food?
Yes.
There you go. Nice. Have you ever gotten lost? Where were you and what happened?
Yes. So have I ever gotten lost? Yes. Where was I? I don't remember.
You don't?
No, I don't
That's
remember.
why you were lost.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I usually don't get lost. And what happened? Well, clearly I found my way.
Yeah. You're here now.
I'm here.
Right?
Yeah.
Nice, man. Well, I think we all get lost every now and then, but it just depends on if we're going to find our way back, you know. And I have one last segment for us here. Sure. Okay. I have somebody on the phone line here.
Okay, who could it be?
On the line. And this actually is the younger you. Okay, so I want you to have a conversation with yourself and basically tell your old self anything that you want.
To my old self or younger self?
To your younger self. Yep, your younger self. Yep, maybe like 20 years ago. Maybe 25, something like that.
20 years ago.
It's the phone for you.
All right.
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got. Yep.
Hey, younger self. What are you doing right now? Or should I say, yo, what up? What's going on, yo, man? Because I know that's how you talk back then. So, a few things. Number one, you're gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. Life is okay. Number two, it's going to take a while for you to figure out what you want to do. And that is okay. Take your time. Not too much time, but make good choices. Number three, yes, you are going to have girlfriends. And it's okay. And that's also going to be all right. But it's going to take a while for you to figure out your relationships. and what patterns there are in those relationships. And let me see if there's anything else. Oh yeah, you're gonna keep making music. There's a little bit of time there where you don't make music because it's not accessible to you. But once it is, it's gonna be amazing. It gets crazy, dude. Like, you could have like a group of singers in your back pocket. Don't ask me how. Just wait for the technology. And then finally, keep exercising. Keep doing the things you do. Be fit, be healthy, keep eating well, and don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Understand that it's okay to receive, and it is okay to love without an expectation, or to be loved without an expectation. Okay. What do you got to say? All right. Well, you keep doing what you're doing there. Don't tell me. I'm pretty sure it's. Never mind. All right. I'll talk to you later. Here you go.
Awesome. That was good stuff. The good stuff, dude. Well, Alex, man, I just want to thank you. It's been really cool to get to know you and get to really just kind of pick your brain. And I appreciate your patience with me. And
no. It was a fun process.
Yeah.
It's a nice process. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I agree. It was good times. And I look forward to continuing.
Sure.
Talking to you, and you never know. We might be able to have you on here again at some point, because I do feel like we got through a lot of stuff, but I genuinely feel like we could do a whole nother hour or two of this. So we'll have to feel that out, and hopefully we'll be able to make it happen. Do you have any last minute words or intentions or anything that you want to leave the listeners with?
Yeah, so I think what I was saying to my younger self, the first thing is it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You can handle it. You can take it. The second thing is just be a good person to other people. There's nothing that's going to give you more than giving of yourself for others. Being part of community, however you can do that, and I think that's it. Oh yeah, no, there's one more. Food is life, and life is food, man.
Yes, so, dude.
Eat well, eat with people, share. That's it.
Well, you know what, dude? Let's hit him with the food is life, life is food out here, okay? Yeah. Listen, hashtag, okay, for my man Alex here, and I'm super grateful to have you here, and I just want to thank everybody else for joining us, and until the next episode.
Yeah, man.
Yep, we're turning the page.
All right.
All right, peace out.
Later.